I'm going to create some sample in SSIS package to just show how to do them. Okay, so now we got introduction package. I'll just click on the package. The package tool will be opened here, and I'll click on. In 2012, we'll be getting all the tools in the SSIS toolbox. Prior to that, you'll be getting them in the prior to 2012 versions. You'll have all of them in the toolbox. Okay, don't get confused. So I'll click SSIS toolbox. In SSIS toolbox, you've got multiple things to do. You got data flow tasks, you got execute SQL tasks, you got analysis services processing tasks, bulk insert task, data profiling tasks, execute package tasks, execute process tasks. Like that, you got many stuff. You got like many things here to do. Okay, so here there is a difference between. So you can see two things. You can see one is this is a control flow, and this is a data flow. Two things are whatever you do loading the data from different sources and transform them, the main thing is that ETL, extract transform load, right? That all majority of the tasks you will be doing under data flow. When I click on the control flow, you can see different toolbox. When I click the data flow, you can see different toolbox like that. Okay, if you connect to difference between control flow and data flow task is that control flow means you can do you can't load the data from different sources. You can't load the data from it's like you can't do the ETL in the control flow. Whatever you do in the data flow. Okay, and one more thing, control flow is nothing but data flow is a part of the control flow. You will go data flow is nothing but the part of the control flow. Okay, like that. See, I'll just for the showing purpose, I'll drag and drop some other purpose, some other things. Okay, I'll drag and drop other stuff, whatever stuff I want. When I right click and when I edit, okay, if I want to write some properties, when I right click and edit, I get some window, some different properties window. See, edit, I'll get some window here. Whatever thing I want, I'll be writing here, right? But see, with the data flow task, when I drag the data flow task, when I right click the data flow task and edit, I'll not get another window. Directly I'll go to the data flow window for the task. Have you observed? So data flow is nothing but it is a part of the control flow. Only you will be getting you will be able to go to the data flow task when you create the data flow task only. You will not be able to go to this directly without creating any other stuff. Already I have created, right? So that's why you can see it. See, I deleted them. When I go to data flow, it will ask from which one you need to do. Then I can create multiple data flow tasks. See, this is a data flow task, this is a data flow task one. When I one thing you can go to the data flow is right click and edit, it will directly take you there. Other thing is that you can double click on that. So you can see it is for the data flow task. When I click the data flow task one, now it is for the data flow task one. So whatever you want, you can do it in the multiple data flow tasks. So for time being, you can just understand is that control flow is a main stuff and data flow is a part of the control flow task. So majority of the thing, whatever the thing you do extract transform load, that all you will be doing under the data flow task only. So here data flow task is important, and in all the companies the majority of the work in the SSIS you do under the data flow task only. When I click the data flow task, you are going to use them a lot. This all the stuff. So currently we are so you will be getting a lot of experience later in the going on process. So I'll have one data flow task. My scenario is that, so it's a beginning, right? So just what we do, we load the data from one table into one text file. That is our normal thing. Okay, we load one data file from the we'll load the data from the table to text file. So in the SQL Server, remember this is a standard concept when in the SSIS. So now my thing is that, what is my thing? I want to load the data from a table. So this will be my source, and I want to load into a destination. Destination is flat file. Flat file means nothing but the text file. Flat file is nothing but the text file. This is my scenario. So my source will be the table and destination will be the flat file. Whenever I want to do this, automatically the thing what I need to give, I need to create a server name, that connection for this table. Like this table is located on server, right? I need to give an server and some database. Okay, it is this table will be located on database, and the database will be in turn it is located in the on server. So we need to give a connection properties. We need to provide a properties to this, that server name and database name. How to provide the properties is that two ways you can provide. Just go to the data flow task. So we want the source, right? Whenever you want the source, you can just use the source assistant. It is easy for the prior versions. So just use the source assistant. When I drag and drop it here, now it will ask which type of source I am using. I am using SQL Server, right? Just click the SQL Server and click on the new here. Just select SQL Server and click on the new. When I use the new, now it will ask the server name. Okay, it will ask the server name. So I'll just click it here. It will show the servers which are installed on my local machines. See, I'll get that. So actually my server is the other server with default instance, right? It is a Badams with the default instance. So I'll just select that one. And when I click this, I'll get all the databases. We got the test we use in the T-SQL, we use a test database, right? Just I'll select the test database and click OK. See, by default, I got the server name here. See, badams.test. Okay. Whenever I want to use the tables from this database, I'll be using this server. So we can see that later on. Okay. Now see, automatically OLEDB source is created. By default, if you don't know which one to connect, this is by default, right? I can do it another way. Instead of that, you got some more call. When you come down, you can see other sources. In the other sources, you can use a OLEDB source directly. That is the other way to do. Instead of using the source assistant, if you know which one to use, you can directly come to the OLEDB source and drag and drop. There are multiple sources, nothing to worry. So this is the OLEDB source. So I have created the connection manager. By default, when you use that one, by default it will ask you, like it's like a wizard. It will ask you which from where you want to get the data. If you select that, automatically it will create a connection manager for that also. That is the one more thing. Other way you can create is that I'm just deleting the connection manager. So now instead of using that source assistant, just I'll drag and drop the OLEDB one, OLEDB source. So in the 2002 prior to 2012 versions, you will not be having the destination assistant and source assistant, and you will not be having as other sources. Just you will be getting this common. I'm just collapsing them. You will be getting this common and other transformation under the transformations. You will be getting this as a sources. Under the source folder, you will be having this. Under the destination folder, you will be having this. Instead of other destinations, you will have that as a destination. So instead of other sources, you will have that name as a source. So you will not have this favorite folder. You will not have this favorites for prior to 2012 versions. So don't get confused. And this, so under the common, instead of the common and other transforms, this both you will be getting under the transformed folder. They will be called transformation. So under that you will be getting that. So if you don't find them, try to find in each and every step. Okay. If you don't see that name, you are at the beginning, right? Search in all the search in all the folders. Okay. So now I'll just drop the OLEDB source. Once I drop here, when I click on this, it will ask for the server name and database name. So from where I should get the data, it will ask for the server name and database name. So because I don't have them, right? So because I have deleted already, which I have created already deleted, right? So I can do it in two ways. I can create a new connection. That is the one thing. Already I have created, so you can see them. By default, it will show all the stuff which you have created. If you create anything like at the prior, then it will be showing that stuff. But I have not created anything, so I'll just click new. By default, so once you create, then automatically next time it will be showing here as a history one which you have created. So I'll just create new. When I create new, it will ask you this. I'll just go here, and it is nothing but the server name called yeah. I need to go the default, right? I think it's a Badams done. So here I'll be using the database with this one, test one on the Badams server. Just click, if you want, click text connection. If it is successful, then it will show text connection succeeded. Okay. Now see, automatically it will be shown, and okay. Next time when I want to connect, there is no need for me to use a new one. Automatically whatever the connections I have created, you can see at the left side by default. So I'll just click text and click OK. When I click OK, I'll be getting that one. And which table I want to do, just go to the database. I'll just connect to the Badams just server. So this is not one, this is the one. So I'll just click connect. So I can see all the databases, right? Just click the database, test, and in the test database we are having multiple tables. So I want to load the table from this company. When I do select star from 1000 rows, I might have records or not. Let's check that. Oh, you got the records, right? So I'll be selecting this table name. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just do the tabular view. So one more thing, in the direct access mode, you will be having multiple stuff. We are going to see. So currently worry about the tabular view. Don't worry about the other thing. You got the SQL command, SQL from comment from variable, table name or view name from the variable. Don't worry. Just worry about the tabular view. So when I click the tabular, by default it will be selected to tabular view. Now after this, when I click this, whatever the tables I have, I will be getting all the list of tables. So I will be working on the company table. So just click. When I click the company table, when I click the preview, it will show the top 200 rows. If you have like thousands of rows, then it will show only top 200 rows. Okay, I'll click close and done. When I click the columns, I'll be getting whatever the columns I will be getting. I'll be getting. So by default it will be selected all the columns. If I want only few columns, I can select all the columns which I want. Instead of selecting all the columns, I can select only few columns which I want from the table. Okay, so this is by default. I don't want this. I'll be selecting all the columns. You can select when you click on the name, it will be all columns will be selected like this. If you want to remove, just click on the quarter, it will be removed like that. Okay, so I'll be selecting all the columns. Done. Don't worry about the error output. This we are going to see later on. So this is the columns. Done. When I click OK, automatically see now that connection is created, and automatically that connection is created. When I click new, that is the one way to create the connection. And you will be pointing that connection here by using the same connection you are when you click the new and we did, right? The connection is created and it will be used here. So it is the other one. Name of the table you will give. And what if I want to create the same connection? Just you can right click here. By default, you will be getting this default mostly used connection. You will be getting OLEDB, and these are the things. So if you want to create, if you don't know which type of connection, just click new. You will be getting all the stuff. If you want to connect it to some DQS server, then you will use that. If you want to connect to Excel files, you will use this connection manager. If you want to do normal files, you will be using manager. Like for the flat files, you will be using this. For FTP connections, you will be using this like this. So always for connecting to the SQL server, you always use a OLEDB connections. When I click add the OLEDB, by default, see already I have created test, right? You can see it here. If I not created them, I'll click new and go. So you need to work on this. You try by default, you try to connect to multiple servers. Keep on playing with them, then you will be getting that. Okay, let's say I have created one more connection. Already I have created this server, so just I'll select this. Done. I got the other server name also. When I click this, if I want to get the data from other server, just whatever the servers I have created the connections, right? You can see all of them here. Okay, you can see all the list. So whichever you want, you can select it. Okay, by default, so already I did, right? I just click cancel. So whatever the connections you make, you will be creating all the connections. You can see all them at the below in the connection manager tab. Here in this one, you can see all the connections. Now what I want, this is my source. So I can rename this. I can rename it by two ways. Just right click and rename, or just you can double click on this. Like when you click on this, you will be getting this. So here I will rename it as SRC. The table name is some company, right? SRC, and it is a table name called company, CMPNY. Okay, this is a table name, and what I want to load it into one text file. See, however you want to get the data, you always use under the sources only. If you want to load the data, then you will use under the destination. See, OLEDB source, this is the OLEDB destination. See, the same thing we got under the source also, but it is OLEDB source. So for getting the data, you always use the sources. For loading the data, that you always use the destination. Since I want the flat file, just drag and drop the flat file. And here, see one more thing, you just drag and drop the flat file. But now these both are separate. What is your unique scenario? You need to pass the data from this one to this flat file. So in order to do that, just connect it to this one, the blue one. We are going to worry about the red one. When I click on this, you will be getting blue, this blue line and the red line. So for the, I think for your 2012, for prior to 2000 version, you will be getting green and red, I think. Okay, so just I'll click on that arrow, drag and drop on connect it to the flat file, drag and drop on the flat file, then automatic connection will be established. So whatever the data you will be getting from this, the data is passed to the flat file destination. The same way, I have created flat file destination, but where that file is located and what is the file name, I don't know, right? Just double click on the flat file, or you can right click and edit. Automatically you will be getting this window. In this window, I need to give the path of the flat file. So I didn't have any flat path now, right? Just click on the new. When I click the path, by default it will show, don't say, just click OK. Don't worry about them. We are going to discuss a lot later on. When I click OK, it will ask. Now, it is nothing but the connection manager. I need to, under that connection manager only, I will be having that path and file name, right? As we did for the SQL Server, the prior one thing. When we created the database, everything stored under the connection manager, some server name dot database name. That was stored. Now you can see it here. So I'll just click cancel. Now you can see it is stored under the server name, and so under this, when I click when I see the properties here, you can see the server name and that all properties, database name, right? So similarly for the flat file also, click on the flat file. When I click new, I'll give the name here for storing that. So the name, I will name it as something company file. That's it. So now here, when I browse it here, it will ask me where that file is located. So basically I have created files, all the files on the desktop. So I'll for your project I'll create other stuff, nothing to worry. So in the SQL Server classes, July, under this I'll create one folder, new folder. I'll create the folder as files. I'll name the folder as files. So under this folder, I'll just open the folder. Under this folder I want to create it, and what file name should be there, that file name, I'll name the file name as some company sales. That by default it will, since it's a flat file, by default it will show a .txt. If you want to use as a CSV, you can use whatever the types, other one, you can just use that company sales and open. Automatically it will be given some default structure, nothing to worry. We are going to see about the later on. This is the interaction, just worry about that. I am just going with that. Okay, by default, see that path will be created here, and by default you can see, even though there is no file, you can see that file name also created, company sales.txt. When I go and see that path on the desktop, so on the desktop it is SQL class July. So under this, under the files, you got that. Currently I am not having any file, right? But that file will be created automatically during the runtime. Now you see, this is the most thing you need to remember. What is the column names in the first data row? So under the file, how the data is going to store is that when I open the text file, you'll have the column names. Let's say I got the column name as CID, CNAME, and something CID, year, quarter, and amount. You will be getting that column names in the first row. From next year onwards, you will getting CID 1, year as 2010, quarter as 1, amount as some 20, like this. You will that in the text file, the data will be stored this way. So if I select this properties column names in the first data row, so what happens? This column names, if I don't select this one will not be. It will just show only the data. If I select this, then in the first record, the column names, the record in the first record will be having the column names, and later on other records will have the data. If I select that one, if I don't select, you will not have anything column name. The first record, from the first record onwards, it will have the data only. So we can see this. So better standard is that we will select the column names in the first data row and click columns. When I click, see, it will show the column names. When I don't click them, when I go and see the columns, see, it will just show the column 1, column 2, and column 3. Okay, so but normally we'll do the first data row will have the column names. Go to the columns. Actually it is not refreshed. Yeah, go to the columns and do the reset columns. Okay, it is, I think it got resetted. I'll just Yeah, they went off. So I'll just again go back, cancel. I'll click on this new connection manager. I'll name it as click OK. I'll name it as something like company file. Browse. By default it will browse to that path which I have given. I'll name it as company sales. Text file open. Now I'll select this column names and I can see the columns. Okay. Now I'll click. See, one more thing. This is a call. Don't worry with the advanced. Advanced is nothing but it will show the column names by default and it will show the data type also. It is integer. See, year means integer. Quarter is also integer. We have created all the types of integer, right? You can see them. You can also see, I'm getting the source column and amount. You can also rename the column here like this. Don't worry, we are going to see about them later on. So that is the advanced. In the preview, if that file is having any data, it will show, because currently the file is not having any data, right? So it will not at all show. You can also skip the data rows from the table. If you are getting multiple records, if you want to skip the first 2 records, you can skip them here. Okay, but no one will use that. Directly use a general and you use a column name. That's it. Don't go with the advanced. We are going to see that later on. Click OK. Now when I click OK, so that file, that column names are created based on the input data. Based on the input data, the column names are created. Okay. Now go to the mappings. When I go to the mapping, see, this is the source columns. This is a source column and this is a destination column. These are the columns we are getting from the source, right? And these are the columns we are getting from the destination. We are using that, we are loading that columns in the destination, right? That's it. Now what happens? By default they are mapped, because the source column name, destination column name is same. By default it will be mapped. Let's say the source column we are having different name. So instead of CID we got some different name. Sometimes they will not be mapped. You will be getting all the columns in the destination, but input column they will not be mapped. Sometimes they will not be mapped, because if the column name is different, then it will not map. So we can map we can map in 2 ways. Just click on this, drag it and drop it to CID. When I do this, automatically you can see here it is pointed. That is a one way. Other way is that other way. So when I ignore it will be gone. Other way is that just you can select here. When I click this, it will show unused columns. Only CID is not mapped, right? It will show only that column. When I click this, automatically it will be mapped here. That is the thing. Always you need to show the mapping. Okay, always you need to see the mapping and click OK. So done. I'll rename this flat file also. See, automatically a connection manager is created from a file. Okay, just go to the flat file connection manager, click on that, and I'll name it as DHT destination, and the table name is company. That's it, right? So now if I want to run the package, I can run it in 2 ways. I can run the entire package by right clicking and executing, or else I can run only by using the execute one, this one also. Okay, we are going to run the package. Don't worry about that. We are going to see the task like only to run this task we are going to see later on. Now here one more thing. What are the things I got here? Top, control flow, data flow, parameters. Even this is the event handler. This is the package explorer. Okay, these are the things that I have got normally now. So I'll just minimize this one. I'll just minimize this one. Okay, so that I can see the names. See, I can see the full names. So I got the package explorer. That's it. So I have created the data flow task, right? When I go to the package explorer, now you can see here in the executables you can see the data flow task. Okay, so I can rename the data flow task also by right clicking or rename, or just double clicking on that. I'll name it as load company sales. So in the company you will name it as in a normal understanding way. Okay, so by looking at this task, you have written the logic in this task where it loads the company sales like that. Okay, so now what I'll do, you can see I got only five tabs at the top, but when I execute this package, see, when I execute the package, now you will be getting one more called execution results. See, so actually you will be getting the progress. When I stop, then it will go to the execution results. Okay, progress means when I click the progress, see, you can see all the steps, how the package is executing. It will show all the step by step. If the package gets any error, then that one also will be displayed here. Okay, Now I'll go to the control flow. Now what I'll do, when I click this one, now I can see this source and destination. So prior to this, when the package is running in the prior versions, this component will change to yellow. When it is successfully completed, it will change to green, and when it is in progress, when it is running, it will change to as yellow. Okay, it is changed to as yellow. When it is executed, it will change to as green, and when it is if there is any error, it will get a red mark. The entire task will be changed to red. But in 2012, just you will get in the top, you will be getting that when it is in progress, you will be getting some refresh like one, and when it is successfully completed, you will get the green tick mark. When it is error, then it will get a cross tick mark. That's it. Okay, it's like just they change the task flow. That's it, nothing more than that. So did you get my point, Monica? So here, when it is successfully executed, I got the tick mark. But in the prior one, instead of getting a tick mark, entire this whatever the thing, entire this one is there, right? Entire this thing will be going into the green color into prior to 2012 versions. Okay, can you?
Okay.
Yeah. So when I click this, now I'll get the source and destination, and see, you can see here all my rows we loaded from source and destination. You can see that 8 rows. How many rows you have, you can it will show the row count also. Now let's go and see that file. When I go here, see, automatically the file is created. When I open the file, you can see the record. See, since I have given the column rows and that one in the first record, so it will have that first record will have the column names. If I don't give that, then it will just store as this one. Okay, so this is the thing. See, CID year, quarter, amount, everything is separated by a comma here now. Okay, so this is our introduction package, where we load the data from source to destination. We loaded the data from SQL Server to the file. Can you try this by using the SSIS? Sorry, you can also do by using the T-SQL also. The same thing you can use by using the T-SQL, but the things that you are going to do are limited. You can't do many features in that. Here, you can change the file name also. When I clicked on this, you can see the columns advanced. You can change that. By default, the data types here for that file will be the input, whatever the data types that the input table is having. By default, it will store that. Now if you can change the column names also. If you want to delete, you can delete this column name, like that. There are many things that you can do here. Easy, it is easy. There is nothing to write any code or anything. Just it is a tool where you can do everything by using the tools. So this is our introduction package. So we are done with this, and from tomorrow onwards we are going to learn the other transformation.